So, I was getting off from work. You know, it was my birthday that day. Happy birthday to me. I got on my car. I was about to drive home. And then I look at my phone, go on YouTube, and then I saw this from Danko. And I know he's gonna get this fight very wrong. I know he's gonna use panels out of context. I know he's gonna use feats out of context. And as I was watching the video, it ruined my birthday. Oh, by the way, it's not that serious. I'm just messing around. Although that video was uploaded on my birthday, and yeah. So okay, and I want to clear up all the misinformation that's been going on, because I keep seeing this fight a lot, and it's reasonable why. The Fantastic Four movie is out. People are gonna have the Human Torch fight Iceman, and if you've been on this channel for this long, I'm a huge fan of elemental characters. Fire, ice, earth, you name it. And it should be no surprise that I'm all up to date when it comes to characters like Iceman and the Human Torch. And if you've been on this channel for this long, then you should know that when it comes to the X-Men, Iceman's my guy. And when it comes to the Fantastic Four, I always find Johnny to be criminally underrated in terms of his powers and the stories he's gone throughout the comics. Now, this is not the first time Johnny has been on this channel. I mean, I just made a video about him, and so in this video, I'm going to be mostly focusing on Iceman, because Danko used a lot of Iceman's feats that are taken out of context. And it's not just Danko, I'm also been seeing a lot of people use these specific feats, but never read the actual context. And I'm like, okay, someone needs to say something. And as I was watching Danko's video, I can just tell he was not reading any of these books. And before we start, please do not send hate towards Danko. That's just immature, that's just goofy. And matter of fact, show him some support. So we're going to start off with what he said about the Human Torch. His research on Johnny is okay. He just left out his current feats and his most powerful attacks. Starting with his blast power, he was able to melt Ronin's universal weapon, stagger a speed blitzing Silver Surfer, one-shot a Doombot that has Silver Surfer's powers. And this is when Johnny was weakened. He even one-shot Absorbing Man, who has the abilities of Iceman's powers, made Juggernaut scream by burning him. And lastly, his blast power is shown to be equal to current Thor. And current Thor has the Odin Force, Phoenix Force. Very impressive. And there are other things Danko left out when it comes to Johnny's abilities and feats, like temperature manipulation, make clones of himself that are sentient, raises flames from absolute zero, and it's stated to be immortal as long as he stays in his plasma form. Wolverine is unable to hurt Johnny when he's on fire, and there was a time when Ben went out of control, he cracked Johnny's bones, and in the next page, Johnny was completely fine. And two of his best feats that are current, when Johnny only had a little bit of his powers left, it was just enough for him to absorb the heat of the Big Bang, and his cosmic blast has fed Galactus to almost full strength. Galactus at full strength has killed a Celestial, he fought Odin, Dormammu, and etc. Johnny at his best can match those cosmic levels of power. Yeah, he is very slept on. Oh, and I forgot to mention his speed. Johnny can react at a microsecond, react faster than the speed of thought, and for those who don't know, the speed of thought in Marvel is faster than light. Blitz and react to Silver Surfer, encircles Quicksilver, can keep up with Thor characters. And there was a time when he was given the ability to use his powers in space and burn hotter than he has ever been. We get to see Johnny's speed at his best, which he flew to a planet that is 44 light years away from Earth. Now sure, Johnny was amped in this, but you could make an argument that this feat does not count because of that reason. But considering that Johnny has already shown to keep up with faster than light characters, it's still reasonable to think that Johnny can accomplish faster than light in terms of travel speed, and this amped only allows him to use his powers in space and allows him to burn a lot hotter. Now when it comes to Iceman, Iceman is the one I want to focus on this video. Yes, Iceman can do incredible things like making ice constructs, freeze things at absolute zero, and freeze at a molecular structure, increase his size, make himself stronger, can create ice clones of himself, reform his body after getting damage, become one with moisture, stagger Phoenix Force Cyclops, stagger Onslaught, stabs Thor, and Thor is very scared of Iceman, shield from nukes, blocks a solar flare from hitting Earth, freeze the speed of light. But here's the part I want to focus on. Bobby's temperature manipulation and his resistance to heat. Bobby's main power isn't in making cold, it's temperature manipulation. Let's look at the time Iceman was able to shut off Sunfire's powers in X-Men issue 202. Sunfire wasn't able to use his powers because Iceman has the ability to control temperatures. Now let's look at X-Men issue 192. This fire guy was able to kill Iceman until he returned the favor by decreasing the thermal energy inside of him. Can this work on someone like Johnny Storm? The answer is no, because you must remember that unlike these fire characters Iceman faces, Johnny can also manipulate temperatures, which is why he's able to shut off this character's powers in Marvel 2-1 issue number 7, I think that was. The Human Torch has also overpowered a machine cannon rays that was capable of freezing the entire planet, and he did that while being weakened in Fantastic Four issue 146. And lastly, Johnny can raise his temperatures from absolute zero in Fantastic Four issue 332. Yeah, Iceman stopping atoms from moving to go absolute zero is not gonna work on someone like Human Torch. Yeah, this was something Danko clearly missed. And here's another thing. You also need to look at Iceman's resistance to heat, which is something Danko did not do. Yes, Iceman can manipulate temperatures, but there's a huge difference in between heat and extreme heat or star heat. Let's actually look at the time Iceman froze hell in Amazing X-Men issue 2 all the way to issue number 4, because y'all love to take that fee out of context. Iceman froze hell right after he passed out, and it was to a point where he couldn't fight back anymore, and his ice was melting to the point where he was about to die if it wasn't for Firestar burning hell itself to the ground. It said it not once, but 3 times. And yeah, Iceman did not permanently froze hell like the people on the internet says. And hell itself is not really that hot, because Storm was able to stand in there just fine. She's not burst into flames. Storm, someone who was burned by Johnny's fire, and it was stated that if Storm was able to face the Nova flame, she would die. Yeah, hell is nowhere near as hot as people say it is. But wait, there's more. And this is very, very new. In Iceman issue 5, when Bobby was hit by a mini sun to a point where Bobby could not fight back, it took him days, if not maybe months, for him to reform. If a mini sun is enough to put Bobby out of the fight, what do you think is going to happen if Johnny goes supernova? And Johnny's supernova can reach cosmic levels of power. It's nowhere near as close as a mini sun. It's worse. Yeah, Danko clearly missed this part of Bobby's character. Yes, I know Omega level mutants are very powerful, but they're not unbeatable. They have been beaten and outsmarted by non-mutants before. And when it comes to Iceman freezing time and space to a point where reality started freezing, which it is impressive, but later in that same story, that power can be countered by light speed and star heat, and it was working, they just couldn't keep it going. Yeah, this is something Danko got it wrong about Iceman bypassing a supernova, considering he cannot bypass a mini sun. And I forgot to mention that Johnny can also burn moisture, and his insides are so hot. He can boil his own blood. Now, who did I think wins? Well, Johnny definitely has a really good chance, but it also works vice versa, since Iceman can grow and get stronger over time because he's an Omega level mutant. Well, the problem is Johnny is going to get stronger, more powerful when time goes on as well. Same with the rest of the FF, because in Fantastic Four issue 553, it's revealed that the team will get stronger over time due to their bodies being fueled with cosmic rays. And when Johnny went up against his older self, he got no diffed. If I'm being honest, this fight is basically a 50-50. Both can manipulate temperatures, turn things into hot, turn things into cold. It's just going to be a back and forth thing. If they use the peak of their powers, it's going to depend on who one-shots who first. And I know you guys are not going to like hearing this, but this fight just depends on the writer and the story behind the fight, because they're both in the same universe. And if you ask me, judging by their powers, abilities, and their resistance, well, this fight is going to be a draw. A lot of people really sleep on Johnny, and a lot of people take Iceman's feats out of context. So yeah, that's all I gotta say, and peace out.